Hello and welcome to Your Government in Action, a presentation of Bahamas Information Services. I'm Carissa Williamson. At a press conference held at the Office of the Prime Minister on April 3, 2025, Minister of Economic Affairs Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitis addressed the recent announcement of 10% U.S. tariffs on the Bahamas and provided further details on the government's decision to reduce value-added tax to 5%, which came into effect on April 1, 2025.
April 1st, the reduction in the VAT on unprepared food came into effect. By all reports, the transition has been very smooth. We think that has been in large part because of the 3-month transition period given to business people in order to make the changes. And so far so good. We have had no complaints of any major disruption, and so it's in effect. And we're just very, very happy to be able to do this reform in keeping with our ongoing policy of reducing taxes that started from the outset with the reduction of that in January 1st, 2022, and removal of customs duties on a raft of items, including healthy food items, beginning in 2022 and is continuing until today. And so that continues. I'm sure the matter that's on the minds of all the reporters here are the recent tariffs that were almost universally imposed by President Trump on around the world. The Bahamas is the subject of what they call the baseline tariff, the 10%, that was issued to virtually or imposed on virtually all countries around the globe. As you know, there are some that had significantly higher tariffs imposed upon them. We are adopting a wait-and-see attitude. Before we realize that things change very rapidly, so something that might be on today could be off later on today. And so our attitude is to adopt a wait-and-see attitude to see how this develops. And again, working in consultation with our partners in CARICOM for any possible response. As you know, we have been pursuing a trade diversification policy as part of our efforts to reduce the cost of living in the country, finding ways to source goods from other countries without having to go through the middle person. Having said that, the United States is our major trading partner. They will remain our major trading partner. But we don't see an immediate major impact. What it is 10% tax being put on goods being imported into the United States at the baseline for those countries at the 10%. And I think our information, the most that would be an export to the U.S. is seafood and I think salt. Not many exports at all. So we will continue to monitor the situation.
The Child Protection Month Committee, in conjunction with the Child Protection Unit at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, held a press conference to commemorate Child Protection Month under the theme, Powered by Hope, Strengthened by Prevention. The press conference took place at the Ministry on April 4th, 2025.
It is both an honor and a privilege to join us today and to join you today as we commemorate Child Protection Month and reflect on the theme of this year's observance, Power by Hope, Strengthened by Prevention. Throughout the world, children represent the future, our future. Every child deserves a safe, loving, and nurturing environment where they can positively grow. They also need this environment to be able to learn and to thrive. Yet, we know that for many children, this is not always the reality. Across the globe, children continue to face abuse, neglect, and exploitation, often at the hands of those that they trust the most. As we reflect on this year's theme, we are reminded that hope is a powerful source, a powerful force, and a powerful resource. Hope fuels the belief that every child has the right to be protected and to be loved. Hope compels us to act and to create the systems of support that allow children to reach their full potential. It is through our collective commitment to hope that we can continue to drive forward the vital work of child protection. However, hope alone is not enough. Prevention is the cornerstone of effective child protection. Prevention means acting before harm occurs. It means building strong communities where families have access to the support they need to thrive. Prevention means investing in education, in resources, and policies that reduce the risk of harm to children and empower those around them to take action when necessary. Today, we acknowledge the tireless efforts of those on the front lines, the child protection workers, our social service teams, our community leaders, our healthcare professionals, our police officers, juvenile and family magistrates, our guidance counselors, our teachers, our parents. Their unwavering and dedicated support ensures that children who are at risk are safeguarded and their voices are heard. But this work cannot be done alone. We know that every single one of us has a role to play. From our families and neighborhoods to our schools and our workplaces, we all have a responsibility to protect our children in our communities. Therefore, if you know or suspect that a child is being abused, I'm going to use this opportunity to tell you, please call the toll-free hotline number that will be given to you today in the podium once I move from this spot. The number 711 is a quick access number, and you can give that number to persons through text also. Let's use social media for good. And this can be accessed from anywhere in the Bahamas. Hashtag 711 or number 711. That call can save and change a life, not to mention inspire hope that someone cares. As a government, we are committed to continuing our efforts to both prevention and intervention. We are strengthening child protection systems, improving access to services, and supporting initiatives that equip families with the tools they need to keep their children safe and to keep them well.
The Disability Affairs Division, in partnership with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, held a sensitivity training workshop for 8th graders at A.F. Adderley Junior High School, aiming to break societal and attitudinal barriers. Our Matt Mora has more.
There are three things that really causes disability, and I help you all to understand it. One, your environment.
The workshop was facilitated by Kendrick Rowe, Deputy Chairman of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, along with Mrs. Annette Lunn, Sign Language Interpreter, and Thorne Clark, Inspectorate Unit of the NCPD Secretariat, and covered a number of key areas, among them disability etiquette. Nalini Bethel, Chairperson of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, said disability sensitivity training is an integral part of the Commission's mission of building an all-inclusive society.
The sensitivity training at junior high school level is very important because what we're trying to do is to build inclusion into the minds of young people so that they'll carry it through into adulthood. And this is all with the goal of building an inclusive society. So all of the barriers that we have, like attitudinal barriers, communicational barriers, we want to be able to sensitize them, and so that they will be more aware and more attuned to the difficulties that people with disabilities actually face.
Bethel said disability sensitivity training for children fosters empathy, promotes understanding of diverse abilities, and cultivates inclusive environments, ultimately leading to stronger social skills and positive relationships. She said junior high school can be a challenging proposition for many students, but particularly those with disabilities, making it a good place to start.
We always say that when you're going through junior high school, there's an attitude, no problem, there's intolerance, a lack of acceptance of somebody who's different. And so there's teasing going on, there may be bullying going on. So, ultimately what we want to do is to build that sensitivity towards a person with a disability.
Disability is said to have three key dimensions: impairment in a person's body structure or function or mental functioning, activity limitation, such as difficulty seeing, hearing, walking, or problem solving, and participation restrictions in normal daily activities, such as working, engaging in social and recreational activities, and obtaining health care and preventive services. Rolu also serves as Special Projects Officer with the Disability Affairs Division, addressed the various types of disabilities.
You have blindness, means without visual sight or being able to see using your eyes. We have deafness or hard of hearing, which means you lost your ability to hear properly or at all. And then we have mobility disabilities for persons like Mr. Clark, who is in a wheelchair, or those who would have lost a limb, whether be it an arm or a leg. And then we have also other disabilities with persons in wheelchairs, would include persons who have spina bifida, which is a disability that you get at birth when you have trouble with your spine and then you are unable to use your lower part of your body. We have cerebral palsy. You would find those persons being wheelchair users. And then we have intellectual disabilities like autism, and we also have Down syndrome. Okay? So those are some of the disabilities, and on record, to be exact, we have at least 13 to 15 disabilities.
The AF Adley session was one of several disability sensitivity initiatives hosted by the team during the same week. Others were held at the C.C. Sweeting High School and the Judith P. Thompson Primary School. Inclusion, accessibility, equality, respect, and advocacy for and on behalf of persons with disabilities were among key initiatives, lessons organizers hope the students will carry with them into adulthood. For Your Government in Action, I'm Matt Mora.
More of Your Government in Action when we return. Welcome back. Two elderly citizens began a new chapter as they were relocated to a government rental unit after their dilapidated home as a part of the government's Clear Hole Build initiative was demolished. The demolition and relocation, led by the Ministry of Housing and the Urban Renewal Authority, took place on April 2nd, 2025.
Today I'm joined with my Minister of State, the Honorable Lisa Ramming, the co-chairs of Urban Renewal, the Right Honorable Algernon Allen and Reverend Diane Francis, our Director of Urban Renewal, Mr. Stephen Dane, Deputy Commissioner Role, and of course the entire board of the Urban Renewal team, along with persons who are caring and want to ensure that our community is built up. We're here today at the intersection of Peter Street and Blue Hill Road, where we have found an elderly couple residing in conditions which are beyond human habitation. It is our intention today to take them from what you can see in our background, from this premises, and we're going to put them in a government rental unit, which is all free. They have running water, light, electricity. We're going to ensure that they have all of the basic necessities of life, including food. If you go in there, many of you have seen, it is beyond, I've never seen anything like it. There's no running water, there's no electricity, there are holes in the roof, holes in the side, and they're exposed in a very significant way to ensure that we want to make sure that our elderly are taken care of in the community. And so there isn't anything much I think we need to say other than we're going to demolish this. We have gotten the permission from the homeowners to relocate them, put them in proper fit habitation, and it is our intention to construct a new home here for them.
And so what about the relatives who are there? I mean, I guess, they're opposing against the demolition. Do they have rights in any thing?
Well, we are in possession of one of their relatives is an attorney who works in the Attorney General's office, and we would have been in collaboration with him for a number of months about this. We would have sat with the owners, and we are in possession of the conveyance. We are satisfied that in the public's interest, this home, this whatever you want to call that, cannot remain in the country. It cannot remain. We cannot allow persons to live in those conditions and run the risk, as you would have seen very recently, the number of fires we would have had. There's no question in our mind that what we are doing is in the best interest of them and the people.
And the family members are alleging that the gentleman is a drunkard. Are you confident that, I guess, he can maintain the government rental unit?
Well, let me say two things. First of all, it does not matter how their family member wishes to characterize him. For us, all of us are equal in the sight of God. And let he who is without sin cast the first stone off wherever hold your peace. We are here to bring peace and love and harmony to that couple to ensure that at the end of the day, no one is left behind. And it is our intention they will not be charged any rent at all to live in the government complex. We will ensure that, and the Permanent Secretary is here, Mr. Reginald Sanders, to ensure that they will be given everything that they need to ensure that as they live with their twilight years, they are comfortable.
Grand Bahama is in the midst of a transformational, revolutionary journey, one that will allow Grand Bahamians to pursue that elusive potential they've been talking about for decades. These are the sentiments of Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxey, who says the second city is on the move. For a long time, the minister has touted the over $2 billion worth of investments that's already flowing through the island in a number of key projects, which will help to restore Grand Bahama back to its Magic City days. Projects like Carnival Celebration Key's $600 million investment, which according to Minister Moxey, is expected to be opened in just 4.5 months. The major project will have 400 direct jobs plus 300 indirect employees, totaling 700 in its operations once completed. The positive impacts have already been felt among contractors and construction workers. There will be vast spin-off businesses and the creation of entrepreneurs across the island.
This is one of the reasons I have been calling on Grand Bahamians to return home. This is real progress, already impacting the lives of Grand Bahamians.
Then there is the $65 million shipyard expansion program, which will give Grand Bahama Shipyard bragging rights of having the capability to service the largest ships in the world. According to Minister Moxey, the first dry dock is scheduled to be delivered early in November of this year to go in service on January 1st, 2026, and the second dry dock will be in service by the fourth quarter of 2026. There are currently 36 apprentices and a recruitment exercise for trainee safety officers, estimators, planners, and naval architects in progress. During the 2025 Grand Bahama Business Outlook, Minister Moxey outlined these major projects along with others, reminding Grand Bahamians that the future of the second city is looking bright.
And our $210 million Freeport Health campus is well on the way, with phase 1 to be completed the end of this year. And Doctors Hospital is almost there with its flagship facility in Freeport to complement its community-based facility in 8 Mile Rock. And downtown, that we all know was a ghost town, is alive again. After 20 years, this is a big deal. The Wynn Building with Solomon's, Parliamentary Registration and Labor in the Public Service, and the Grand Union Building add to its revitalization. And Little Thorn, and Exquisite Yacht, just to name a few.
But it's not just the major projects that will revive Grand Bahama's economy. The Grand Bahama minister noted that several small businesses have already opened and even more are expected to come on stream.
Like Romal Russell of Pub 352, who is bringing back the good old days of Pub on the Mall, returning nightlife to Grand Bahama, along with Ibiza and Infinity, and Namar Smith of Clearview Tours, and Port's Premium Coconut Water taking entrepreneurship to another level, and LaShawn Dossett and Justin Campbell of CMT enhancing the tourism product, while companies like Atlantic Medical and BHM continue to expand, and women entrepreneurs like Glennet Fowler and Johnny Smith continue to break barriers. Collectively, they employ people and contribute to the sustainable, organic growth of our economy.
The government of the Bahamas is progressing steadily with the state-of-the-art Freeport Health Campus. Phase 1 of the three-phase construction is set for completion in late 2025. And there is the UB North Campus. Last December, UB North held a soft opening to celebrate the completion of the first phase of the renovation of the former Kipling building in downtown Freeport. The Minister for Grand Bahama threw out a challenge to attendees at this year's Business Outlook to say something positive about Grand Bahama. She said whenever the temptation arises to speak negatively, replace it with positive speech. After all, she said, there's always something positive happening in Grand Bahama to talk about. For Your Government in Action, I'm Andrew Coakley.
The Enable Business Expo and Forum brought together entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and advocates for an inclusive business landscape. The event took place at the University of the Bahamas on March 6, 2025, and was hosted by the Small Business Development Center in partnership with the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and the University of the Bahamas. The event featured expert panels to discuss accessibility, disability-friendly business practices, as well as economic empowerment.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture is pleased to be partnered alongside SBDC, the Ministry of Social Service, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and other key stakeholders empowering entrepreneurs with disabilities. This initiative was launched during the previous Disabilities Week in the Bahamas and International Disabilities Day. My ministry is a firm supporter of a fair, inclusive, and equitable society, and that means that we believe persons with disabilities can be business owners too. I add too, that by saying that young persons with disabilities can be business owners too, young people face many barriers to fully participating in society. Having a disability as a young person exacerbates those barriers. It is therefore important that we provide an enabling environment that supports the independence of disability youth and as entrepreneurs. My ministry, and by extension the government, is aware that we can spare no effort in support of our disabled community and in the advancement of the prosperity of that society for all. This is not a one-time deal. Rather, it is only the start towards sustainable and long-term support for our entrepreneurs with disabilities, and in particular, your young entrepreneurs with disabilities. This is an indication that progress is being made and that sectors and agencies can come together to create a more equitable and inclusive society. Ladies and gentlemen, disability does not mean inability. And just because a man lacks eyes does not mean that he lacks vision. As we focus on amazing abilities of our entrepreneurs, let us continue to take action to empower persons with disabilities. Because when they thrive, the Bahamas thrive.
The government of the Bahamas is taking aggressive action against gang violence with the Clear Hole Build initiative, aimed at removing gangs, maintaining police presence, and providing opportunities for safer communities. Announced at a press conference held at the office of the Prime Minister on February 24, 2025, the Clear Hole Build initiative ensures that national security remains a top priority. Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles provided insight on how the Royal Bahamas Police Force is leading the charge.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force takes the lead role in the Clear Hold and Build initiative. This initiative, which began on the 7th of October last year, and our survey up to the 16th of February of this year, shows that the crime in this particular area, the Angliston area, was one of concern for us. Of course, it has always been a concern for us, but certainly a clear and in a very good place for us to start this project. The challenges that we saw in the Angliston area, of course, not immune to only Angliston but to other areas, but as this was the first area that we began in, we saw that gang violence and shootings were a major concern in this particular area. I do believe that there is something playing on the screen today. Behind you. Of course, I can't see it, so you get to see firsthand what I'm trying to bring across to you. Some of the incidents that we saw were shootings, murders, and of course, gunshot reports. The numbers that we have gotten last year for that period from January 1 to October 16th showed us that we had 8 murders and 3 shootings in that area, and that there were 50 gunshot reports after this initiative took place from the 7th of October until the 16th of February this year. We saw a major decrease in those crimes. 3 murders occurred in the Angliston area and 0 shootings. Gunshot reports were 50 and they're now down to 20. And so it tells us that the program is certainly working for us in this community. Our stats, of course, as you can see, show a decline in these major crimes that have been reported. So the impact of this with the community, it tells us that partnership is very important. We are in partnership with other government agencies, but it is important for us to be partners with members of the community, and that is what we have been building over the past 2-3 months. And we see the importance of that partnership because we are able now to reach even more people in the communities. The new communities that we will be targeting are the Carmichael community and the Nassau Village community. What we have seen in the Carmichael community were 4 murders, and this is for both communities. 4 murders reported, 4 shootings, and of course in Nassau Village there were 86 gunshot reports. These were detected by our spot shot technology and also reported by members of the community, and we thank them for always partnering with us and sharing information with us so that we can act on it. And then in the Carmichael community, 4 murders, 4 shootings, and 94 gunshot reports, again detected by spot shot technology and the community. Over the past weekend, we held an Operation Resolute. We saw the success of that operation, which was tailored towards the entire New Providence for the weekend. As the Minister has announced, the project has already begun in Nassau Village and Carmichael, where we've been executing warrants, where we've been stopping vehicles that we suspect are carrying illegal contrabands and weapons. We've been issuing fixed penalty notices to those persons who are in contravention of the traffic laws. And so we are pleased with what we have seen on the weekend, the efforts of the police, and we do believe that as we continue in these communities, we will see a reduction in crime, especially crimes against the person. As we move forward with this initiative, we will continue to execute search warrants on places our intelligence tell us are drug dealers or drug shops in the community. We are using our intelligence agencies to go out into these communities to find the information for us so that our Black Scorpion operation team can go back out and execute.
I'm Carissa Williamson, and this has been Your Government in Action, a proud presentation of Bahamas Information Services. Join us on Tuesday evenings where we bring you highlights, coverage, and information as we continue to do what we do best, linking people and government.